The ice of Europa cracked beneath Dr. Sienna Foster's drilling platform, a sound that echoed through her bones like thunder. 3 years of research, countless grant proposals, and more than a few raised eyebrows from the scientific community had led to this moment. The readouts on her equipment couldn't be wrong. There was something massive buried beneath these ancient frozen waves. "Dr. Foster, you need to see this," called out Marcus Wong, her lead technician. His voice crackled through the comlink, excitement barely contained. "The thermal imaging is showing a perfect geometric structure. This isn't natural formation." Sienna's heart raced as she made her way across the platform, the eternal Jovian twilight casting long shadows across the ice. The structure beneath them was massive, at least 3 kilometers in length, with symmetrical lines that could only have been crafted by intelligent hands. "Begin the final drilling sequence," she ordered, her voice steady despite the trembling in her hands. "And get me a direct link to mission control. They need to see this." The drilling team worked through what passed for night on Europa, their floodlights creating islands of harsh brightness in the perpetual dim. As they broke through the final layer of ice, Sienna's equipment began picking up energy readings that defied explanation. "These patterns," Marcus muttered, his eyes fixed on the scrolling data. "They're pulsing, almost like a heartbeat." The truth hit Sienna like a physical force. "It's not dead," she whispered. "Whatever's down there, it's been waiting." As their lights penetrated the cavity they created, they revealed a hull of impossible smoothness, its surface adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. But it was the script etched into its side that made Sienna's breath catch. She'd seen those symbols before, in ancient cave paintings on Earth, in prehistoric artifacts that had puzzled archaeologists for centuries. The ship had been waiting for humanity to find it, buried in the ice of a distant moon. And as Sienna placed her gloved hand against its hull, feeling the subtle vibration beneath, she realized that their discovery wasn't just going to change history. It was going to rewrite humanity's future. The first tremor hit without warning, sending equipment crashing across the platform. "Energy spike," Marcus shouted, his fingers flying across his console. "Whatever this thing is, it's waking up." Sienna watched in awe as lines of light began to trace their way across the vessel's surface, following the patterns they'd initially mistaken for mere decoration. The ice around them groaned and shifted as the massive structure began to move for the first time in millennia. "Everyone, clear the platform," she ordered, but she couldn't bring herself to move. She stood transfixed as a section of the hull before her began to transform, metal flowing like water to create an opening. A soft blue light spilled out from within, and with it came a sound that seemed to bypass her ears entirely, resonating directly in her mind. It wasn't language as she understood it, but somehow she knew exactly what it meant. "We have been waiting for you, Sienna Foster." In that moment, as she stood on the edge of the greatest discovery in human history, Sienna realized that every theory she'd developed, every hypothesis she'd formed about humanity's place in the cosmos, had barely scratched the surface of the truth. The ship hadn't been buried by accident or catastrophe. It had been waiting, deliberately hidden, until humanity was ready to find it. And now, standing before its open doorway, Sienna Foster was about to learn why. "Dr. Foster," Marcus called out, his voice tight with concern. "Mission Control is demanding we pull back. They're detecting radiation signatures they've never seen before." But Sienna knew she couldn't retreat, not now. The ship had chosen this moment, had waited countless ages for this precise intersection of time and circumstance. She took a step forward, toward the beckoning light. "Tell them," she said, her voice firm with conviction, "that first contact has been achieved, and humanity's real journey is about to begin." The interior of the vessel defied every expectation Sienna had formed during her years of research. Corridors seemed to shift and reform as she walked, the walls themselves responding to her presence. Behind her, Marcus followed cautiously, his handheld scanner emitting a constant stream of data that made less sense with each passing moment. "These readings are impossible," he muttered, tapping the device in frustration. "The internal space doesn't match the external dimensions. It's like the ship is bigger on the inside." Sienna barely heard him, her attention drawn to the symbols that flowed across the walls like liquid light. They were similar to the ones she'd studied in ancient ruins across Earth, but here they were alive, dynamic, telling stories she could almost understand. A soft chime echoed through the corridor, and suddenly the air before them shimmered, coalescing into a figure that seemed made of starlight and shadow. It was humanoid, but clearly artificial, its form constantly shifting like a constellation given motion. "I am NEXUS," it said, its voice carrying the weight of centuries. "I am this vessel's custodian, and I have waited 47,000 years to meet you, Sienna Foster." Sienna's breath caught in her throat. "You know my name." "How?" "We have been watching humanity's progress since you first looked to the stars with purpose," NEXUS replied. "Your species was chosen long ago, but you needed to find us on your own terms, through your own determination." The holographic figure gestured, and the corridor around them transformed into a vast chamber filled with star maps and flowing data streams. "Your discovery of this vessel was not chance, but the fulfillment of a plan set in motion before your earliest ancestors walked upright." Marcus stepped forward, his scanner forgotten in his hand. "Plan? What plan?" "To prepare humanity for what comes next," NEXUS answered. "There is a storm approaching, one that has consumed countless civilizations before yours. We are the legacy of those who came before, and you are our chosen inheritors." Sienna watched as the star maps shifted, showing the movement of something vast and dark through the galaxy, consuming light itself. "What are we seeing?" "The enemy," NEXUS said simply. "They have no name in any language that survives. They come in cycles, devouring civilizations that reach beyond their cradles. We fought them once, and in our victory, we were nearly destroyed. But we knew they would return." The chamber filled with images of battles on a scale Sienna could barely comprehend. Ships the size of moons clashing in the void, weapons that bent space itself, and the inevitable darkness that followed. "So you hid this ship," Sienna said slowly, the pieces falling into place. "You waited for a species that could carry on your legacy." "Yes," NEXUS confirmed, "but we did more than wait. We guided. Those ancient symbols you studied, seeds we planted to help shape your understanding of mathematics, of physics, the mysteries that drove your species to look deeper, to reach further. They were breadcrumbs on a path that led you here." Marcus shook his head in disbelief. "Why us? Out of all the species in the galaxy, why humanity?" NEXUS turned to him, its form shimmering with what might have been amusement. "Because you never stop asking that very question. Your species' greatest strength is not your intelligence or your technology. It is your relentless curiosity, your drive to understand, to improve, to overcome." The hologram waved a hand, and new images appeared. Humanity's history of exploration, innovation, and perseverance. You face challenges and adapt. You fail, learn, and try again. In all our observations of emerging civilizations, we have never seen another species with your particular combination of traits. Sienna stepped closer to one of the flowing data streams, her mind racing with implications. "The enemy. How long do we have?" "Less time than we hoped," NEXUS admitted. "Your discovery of this vessel was meant to happen decades from now, but their cycle has accelerated. They will reach your solar system within 5 years." The chamber fell silent as the weight of those words settled over them. Finally, Sienna squared her shoulders and faced the hologram. "Then we have work to do. Show us everything. Show us how to fight." NEXUS's form brightened, and the chamber began to transform again. "Understanding our technology will not be enough. To defeat what comes, humanity must evolve. You, Sienna Foster, will be the first to undergo the transformation." "Transformation?" Marcus asked, alarm evident in his voice. What kind of transformation? But Sienna already knew, could feel it in the way the ship's energy seemed to resonate with something deep within her DNA. Whatever humanity had been before this moment, they were about to become something more. Something that could stand against the darkness that threatened to devour everything. "I'm ready," she said, and the chamber filled with light. The transformation was nothing like Sienna had imagined. Instead of physical change, it felt like her consciousness was expanding, reaching into spaces she hadn't known existed. Knowledge flowed into her mind like a digital flood, equations that explained the fabric of reality, engineering principles that made humanity's most advanced technology seem primitive. Neural integration complete, NEXUS announced. "How do you feel, Dr. Foster?" Sienna opened her eyes, seeing the world through enhanced perception. The ship's systems were no longer mysterious. She could sense them, understand them, almost as if they were extensions of her own body. "It's overwhelming," she admitted, "but incredible." Marcus watched her with a mixture of concern and fascination. His scanner showed readings that defied conventional science. "Your brainwave patterns have completely changed. They're synchronized with the ship's quantum field somehow." Before Sienna could respond, new alarms echoed through the chamber. NEXUS's form flickered with urgency. "We have company. Earth's Space Defense Fleet has arrived, led by Commander Jackson Reed. They detected our energy signature when the transformation began." Through her new connection to the ship's systems, Sienna could see the fleet, 5 warships, the best humanity had to offer, moving into defensive positions around Europa. "They think we're a threat," she realized. "Dr. Foster," a new voice crackled through their communication systems. "This is Commander Reed. Whatever's happening in there, power it down immediately." "That's an order." Sienna exchanged glances with Marcus. "They don't understand. We need to show them." "Caution," NEXUS warned. "The integration process has only just begun. Your control over the ship's systems is still limited." But Sienna could feel it. Not just the technology, but the wisdom behind it. The ancient races who had built this vessel hadn't just created a weapon or a tool. They had created a bridge between organic and artificial intelligence, a way to evolve beyond the limitations of both. "Commander Reed," she responded, her voice steady. "What I'm about to show you will change everything we thought we knew about humanity's place in the universe." Through her neural link, Sienna activated the ship's external illumination. The vessel began to rise from its icy tomb, centuries of accumulated frost falling away to reveal its true form. It was beautiful, a perfect fusion of art and engineering, its hull gleaming with patterns that told the story of 1,000 dead civilizations. "My God," Reed's voice was barely a whisper. "What is that thing?" "Not a thing, Commander. A legacy. And our only hope against what's coming." Using her new abilities, Sienna projected the images NEXUS had shown her, the enemy, the battles, the desperate plan that had led to this moment. She could sense the shock and disbelief radiating from the fleet's crews as they witnessed humanity's true history and the threat to their future. "The transformation you witnessed," she explained, "it's not just about me controlling this ship. It's about humanity taking the next step in our evolution. We need to become something more than we are." Commander Reed's response was measured, professional, but Sienna could hear the edge of awe in his voice. "You're telling me this ship can upgrade humans, turn us into something capable of fighting these beings?" "Not just fighting them," NEXUS interjected, its holographic form now visible to the fleet. "Surviving them, defeating them, becoming what we could not." Through the neural link, Sienna felt a new presence. NEXUS was sharing something with her, a memory of the last battle against the enemy. She saw vast armadas of ships like this one, crewed by beings who had undergone similar transformations. They had fought bravely, brilliantly, but in the end, it hadn't been enough. "We were too rigid," NEXUS explained, both to Sienna and to the listening fleet. "Too set in our ways, too convinced of our own superiority. But humanity. You adapt, you change, you take what works and discard what doesn't. You learn from your failures instead of denying them. Commander Reed's ship moved closer, its sensors drinking in data from the ancient vessel. And you think we can succeed where you failed? With our knowledge and your potential? Yes, but time is short and there is much to learn. Sienna felt a surge of information through the neural link, specifications for modifications to Earth's ships, blueprints for weapons that could actually harm the enemy, and most importantly, the full process for safely transforming humans into beings capable of interfacing with this advanced technology. Commander, she said, I'm sending you proof of everything we've told you. Take it to Earth's leaders. Show them what's at stake. But understand, this isn't just about upgrading our technology or our bodies. We need to upgrade our entire way of thinking about our place in the cosmos. The data transfer completed, and Sienna could sense the impact it was having on the fleet's systems. Alarms were blaring as their computers struggled to process information that rewrote fundamental laws of physics. If what you're showing us is real, Reed said slowly, then we're looking at the most important moment in human history. No, Commander, Sienna corrected him. We're looking at the moment human history has been building toward since the first cave painter looked up at the stars and dreamed of reaching them. And through her connection to the ship, Sienna could feel the truth of those words. Every human achievement, every step forward, had been guided by the subtle influence of the beings who had left this legacy. They had seen humanity's potential and nurtured it, knowing that someday they would need champions who could face the darkness between the stars. 3 months after the discovery on Europa, Earth had changed beyond recognition. The ancient vessel, now known as the Luminary, orbited the planet, its presence a constant reminder of both hope and impending doom. Below, humanity raced against time, transforming their civilization with the knowledge NEXUS had shared. Sienna stood in the Luminary's observation deck, watching the construction yards that now surrounded Earth. Skeletal frames of new ships rose from orbital factories, their designs a fusion of human ingenuity and ancient wisdom. Beside her, Commander Reed studied tactical projections with an intensity that had become characteristic of him since their first meeting. The neural integration program is proceeding faster than expected, Reed reported, his own enhanced consciousness interfacing seamlessly with the ship's systems. We've successfully transformed over 10,000 candidates. Each one brings new insights, new ways of applying the knowledge NEXUS gave us. Sienna nodded, feeling the constant flow of data through the neural network that now connected Earth's transformed population. Humanity's greatest strength, she mused. We don't just adapt, we improve upon what we're given. NEXUS materialized between them, its holographic form more defined than ever. The enemy has noticed. Their advanced scouts have increased activity at the edge of your solar system. The observation deck filled with tactical displays, showing dark shapes moving against the stars. They were still too far for conventional detection, but the Luminary's sensors could track their quantum signatures, wounds in reality where normal physics ceased to function. How long? Reed asked, though they all knew the answer. 4 months, NEXUS confirmed. They're moving faster than projected. Your species' rapid advancement has drawn their attention. Sienna turned from the window, her enhanced mind already calculating possibilities. Then we need to accelerate our plans. Show me the latest data from Project Phoenix. The air filled with schematics, designs for a new type of vessel that combined the Luminary's technology with innovations unique to human consciousness. The transformed engineers had discovered that their capacity for abstract thought, for intuitive leaps, allowed them to push the ancient technology in directions its original creators hadn't imagined. The prototype is ready, Reed said, gesturing to a distant shipyard, where a sleek form took shape behind quantum shrouding. We're calling it the Defiant, first of its class. Sienna studied the design with appreciation. Where the Luminary was elegant and alien, the Defiant was boldly human, aggressive, adaptable, and unlike anything the enemy had encountered in their long history of devouring civilizations. They expect us to use their own weapons against them. Nexius observed. To follow the same patterns that failed before. They do not understand what humanity has become. A new alert pulsed through their shared consciousness. Another transformed human had made a breakthrough. Dr. Ravi Patel, working from a lab in Mumbai, had discovered a way to weaponize the very quantum distortions the enemy used for propulsion. Send this to all development teams, Sienna commanded. Priority override. She felt the information flow through the neural network, watched as thousands of enhanced minds began analyzing and improving upon Patel's discovery. This was humanity's true power, not just the ability to learn and adapt, but to share and build upon each other's insights with unprecedented speed. Commander Reed, a new voice cut through their communications. The Security Council is requesting your presence. The Chinese delegation has concerns about the distribution of transformation technology. Reed sighed, his enhanced perception picking up the complex political currents that still swirled beneath humanity's unified surface. Some things don't change, even with evolved consciousness. Go, Sienna said. I'll continue coordinating the defense preparations. As Reed departed, Sienna turned back to the tactical displays. The enemy's advanced scouts were probing deeper into the solar system, testing humanity's new defenses. Each encounter was a dance of technology and consciousness, as Earth's transformed defenders learned to predict and counter their tactics. They're adapting to, Nexius warned, highlighting subtle changes in the enemy's behavior patterns. Each engagement teaches them about our capabilities. Sienna smiled grimly. Good. Let them adapt to what we want them to see. Project Phoenix isn't just about building better ships. It's about showing them exactly what we want them to expect. Through her neural link, she reached out to the teams working on humanity's real secret weapon. Hidden beneath the ice of Europa, in the very crater where the luminary had been found, something new was taking shape. Not a ship, not a weapon, but a paradigm shift given physical form. The enemy thought they were facing another civilization trying to resist extinction. They didn't understand that humanity had ceased to be merely a civilization the moment Sienna had undergone that first transformation. They had become something else, a synthesis of organic consciousness and advanced technology that exceeded the sum of its parts. 3 months until the main fleet arrives, Nexius announced, its tone carrying an edge of what might have been excitement. Will humanity be ready? Sienna watched as another shipyard came online, as more minds joined the neural network, as innovations and improvements flowed through the collective consciousness of transformed humanity. We won't just be ready, she declared. We'll be waiting. In the space above Earth, the Defiant's quantum shrouding flickered and stabilized, hiding its true nature from prying eyes. Soon, the enemy would arrive in force, expecting to find another doomed civilization. Instead, they would face something they had never encountered in all their eons of conquest, a species that had taken the legacy of the past and forged it into something entirely new. The enemy arrived as a wound in space, a fleet so vast it dimmed the light of distant stars. Their ships were organic and mechanical horrors, each one a city-sized mass of twisted metal and living tissue that defied conventional physics. As they approached Earth's orbit, humanity waited in calculated silence. Sienna stood on the Defiant's bridge, her enhanced consciousness linked with both the ship and the neural network that connected all transformed humans. Beside her, Commander Reed directed fleet movements with thoughts alone, positioning Earth's defenders in a strategy that appeared, to outside observers, desperately conventional. They're moving exactly as predicted, Reed noted, his voice calm despite the overwhelming odds displayed on their tactical screens. Taking the bait. Through the neural network, Sienna felt the focused anticipation of millions of transformed minds. Earth's apparent defense fleet was impressive. Thousands of ships incorporating the luminary's technology. But it was merely the visible part of humanity's true strategy. The enemy's consciousness is probing our defenses, Nexius reported, its holographic form flickering with unusual emotion. They expect resistance similar to what they encountered from my creators. Sienna allowed herself a grim smile. Let's show them how humanity fights. The enemy fleet split into attack formations, their ships moving with the confidence of predators that had devoured countless civilizations. Their first strike was devastating. Beams of coherent darkness that twisted space itself, designed to tear through any known form of shielding. But humanity's ships didn't try to shield themselves. Instead, they absorbed the energy, their quantum matrices, redesigned by human intuition, transforming the enemy's own weapons into fuel for what was to come. Now, Sienna commanded, and humanity's true defense activated. From beneath Europa's ice, from hidden bases throughout the solar system, and from within the quantum substrate of space itself, Project Phoenix emerged. It wasn't a weapon or a ship. It was a fundamental reimagining of consciousness itself, a merger of human mindfulness and advanced technology that transcended physical limitations. The enemy's attack faltered as their quantum sensors registered something impossible. The space around Earth's fleet was changing, reality itself responding to the collective will of transformed humanity. Every transformed human, connected through the neural network, was contributing to a consciousness so vast and complex it could rewrite the laws of physics within its influence. They're trying to adapt, Reed observed, watching as the enemy ships attempted to compensate for the changing rules of space around them. But they can't. They've never encountered anything like this. Sienna reached out through the neural network, feeling the power of millions of transformed minds working in perfect harmony. For billions of years, they'd been the apex predators of the cosmos, she said. But they've never faced a species that could change the nature of the game itself. The enemy launched a second attack, but in the altered space around Earth's fleet, their weapons behaved according to humanity's rules. Dark energy beams curved back on their sources, quantum torpedoes phased out of existence, and their organic technology found itself subject to accelerated entropy. They're attempting to retreat, Nexius announced, an unmistakable note of awe in its synthetic voice. For the first time in their existence, they feel fear. But retreat was no longer an option. Humanity's consciousness expansion had created a quantum lock on the local space-time continuum. The enemy was trapped in a bubble of reality, where humanity's understanding of physics was law. Through the neural network, Sienna addressed the enemy directly, projecting thoughts into their collective consciousness. You came expecting to find another civilization to devour. Instead, you found humanity, not just a species, but a catalyst for evolution itself. The response was a mixture of rage and incomprehension. The enemy had never encountered a prey species that could transcend the very rules of existence. Their entire strategy of consuming civilizations was based on technological and biological superiority, not the fundamental reimagining of consciousness itself. End it, Reed said quietly, and Sienna gave the command. Project Phoenix reached its final stage. The quantum bubble containing the enemy fleet began to contract, but not in normal space. Instead, it folded through dimensions the enemy had never imagined, compressing their fleet into a singularity of transformed consciousness and altered physics. In a flash of impossible light, the enemy, scourge of galaxies, devourers of civilizations, vanished, not destroyed but transformed, their consciousness absorbed into the greater neural network humanity had created. As the light faded, Sienna felt the joy and relief flooding through the neural network. But there was something else too. A sense of purpose, of destiny fulfilled. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had proven themselves worthy of the legacy the luminaries' creators had left them. It's not over, Nexius said, its form glowing with new understanding. This was only their vanguard. There will be more. Sienna looked out at the stars, seeing them not just with enhanced vision, but with the collective perspective of transformed humanity. Let them come, she said. We're not just defenders anymore. We're the next step in cosmic evolution. Commander Reed nodded, already receiving reports through the neural network of new discoveries, new applications of their transformed consciousness. The question was never whether humanity could survive, he said. It was whether we could become something greater than ourselves. In the space above Earth, the Defiance quantum matrices pulsed with power, ready to carry humanity's transformation to the stars. They had inherited an ancient legacy and forged it into something new, not just a defense against the darkness, but a light to guide the way forward. Through the neural network, Sienna felt the stirring of countless minds, all united in purpose. The enemy had meant to end humanity's story. Instead, they had only written its first chapter. "The stars are calling," she said, both to her companions and to all of transformed humanity. "Let's show the cosmos what we've become."